Josh Kennedy jump straight back in?
I think so, yeah. Yep, he needed a week off, and that might not be the last time. So he's got a few games left in him, but not many. So he'll be right this week, as long as he gets through training. Trained really well on Tuesday, so I think he should be fine by the weekend.
Is it just his ability to recover from games that slows him down? Is that it?
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. So, yeah, it's getting hard for the big dog. So we'll look after him best we can. He's doing everything he can to get right and finish the year off his way, I suppose.
Is it unthinkable that he could go round again? Like, would you twist his...
I'll leave that up to JK to work through and talk about when the time's right.
How much treatment does he get, Timo? Does he get his knee drained and that sort of thing?
I don't want to go into specifics. So it's just something he's been dealing with for years, really. You know, what is he, 33, 34? He's been a warrior. I've said this a number of times. So it's probably been the last 3 years, really. 4 years he's been dealing with his body, and I just don't know how he's got up every week. So, yep, that's... But I don't think he'd use that as an excuse for anything. It's just part of his preparation that he's been elite with for a long period of time. So, yeah, less about his body, more about the fact he's playing. Probably should be the message. What his body's done compared to his brain, I think he's got smarter. So he's sort of made up for it. And I see it with some, Rewalt's another one that as they get on the back nine, they become very crafty at how they play. So I think JK's one of those guys that his body's probably not the same as it was when he was 28, 27, but he's smarter. So that's why he's been such a good player for so long.
So you've spent probably a bit of time trying to work out who to match up the two bigs, right? Because the second one obviously is the tough one. What options do you have?
Yeah, well, there's options that without McGovern, and even Yowie would have been an interesting matchup if we had done that. So we're working through that. We'll try a couple of things today at training. Obviously, they're not all around those two players, but they're pretty bloody good. So even with your best complement, it's hard to get that right. So looking at what other teams have done collectively, not just the one-on-one matchups, is something we've got to look at. And there'll be some big jobs for some of our players.
Could you throw Bazzo in again 4 weeks in a row?
He's learned so much, Baz. So we'd love to continue to play him and Hoff and some of these younger players that have bobbed up and given us a bit of spark. So he might get the job at some stage.
You mentioned Yuri, obviously his hamstring injury seems to be the best possible news you could get.
Yeah. I mean, still not great news, the fact he's out for a few weeks, but we're a little bit worried it might have been tendon related. The way the injury occurred, it looked like a real bad one. But from what I've been told, it's 2 or 3 weeks. So, he's happy. We're all happy because he gets to play footy again this year, which he hasn't done a lot of.
So he's in relatively good spirits, considering?
Yeah, well, I think it's been frustrating for all of us, and for Elliot in particular, who's been dealing with... It's not the same injury, it's osteitis, it's a calf, it's a hamstring. So, I think we all saw a glimpse of what Yowie was like as a half-back, and he just brought so much energy to the game. So, we're going to miss him again. But, he's still got plenty of footy left in him.
This late in the season, does he come back into the AFL team, do you think? Or does he just play waffle to finish the season and build for next year?
I haven't worked that out yet. Yeah, it depends how long he misses. So, I thought there was enough base there, though. He played a couple of waffle games and then 3 or 4 AFL games. So, hopefully it's straight back in.
Has Bunga put you in a bit of a tough spot now with Shannon Hearn because of his form?
Not at all. No. Shannon, look, we'll work through all that end of the year and how it all looks with our list, and the guys are out of contract, where we're heading, the draft, all those things are not for today. But I'm so happy that he's playing good football. So. I actually haven't sat down with him and worked out what we want to do next year and how he sees his future as well. So we'll wait for that.
And Harry Edwards, he didn't play last week, even though he equalled the all-time waffle marking record or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Would he be a chance for Kerner?
Yeah, I think he's a strong chance. Richmond, different side. They got a lot of smalls, quick team. So and Harry was really good at Waffle Eagle. So. Definitely in the mix this week. He'll train fully today, and he's an option for sure.
Zach Langdon looks to be ready for Waffle.
Yep, he'll play this week. So yeah, there's probably what's our list is looking like at the moment. There's, I don't know, between 6 and 10 players who may not be available for the rest of the year, and everyone else is almost available. So there's a bit of a gap now that not a lot in rehab. They're either out for the season or they're available. So that's probably as good as we're going to get.
Can you give us an update on Campbell Chesser?
Yeah, well, his goal was to start training with us by the end of the year. So we saw him on the track. He went through a couple of strides. I think he's starting his running program. So that's great for him. He hurt that ankle, was it JLT or whatever the pre-season comp's called? Was it called NAB? I can't remember now. He got injured there. So to be available to train by the end of the year has been a goal of his, and hopefully we see him on the track along with maybe a Tom Cole. Probably not Sheed, but maybe McGovern. These type of guys. We see what they look like in the last 3 or 4 weeks from a training point of view.
So you made the call on Gov, have you?
No, not yet. No, I want to wait to a medical review. I think that's next Wednesday, just to see how the body's healing. But he's still a little bit sore and stiff. So yeah, that'll be a longer term. So if we get him back at the last few games, we just got to assess whether that's worth doing or not.
Where's Greg Clark at? What do you have him working on at the moment?
Well, he's played a bit of waffle football. They had a bye last week, so he was really good the week before. So, yep, he's in the mix with True and O'Neill and Jai, those young midfielders coming through. So, yeah, I thought the dynamics of the group. We played young Zane True last week, and we're really happy with, in particular, his third quarter. So, giving all these guys opportunities is sort of our goal for the rest of the year. So, Clark is one of those.
So your goal would be to play Jai before the end of the year? Yeah.
Oh, if his form warrants it, so they've got to have a little bit of form, but we're not. Sorry, I've been frog in my throat all day. We're not too concerned about playing these kids. If their form stacks up, okay, we'll give them opportunity to play. That's for sure.
Matching up against the Blues, are there any areas you think you can capitalise on, especially in that back as well?
Yeah. Look. They've been really good. They're a really solid, consistent side. They look reliable on how they go about the contest. The stoppages are a great strength. They took 2 powerful forwards and some real good smalls that put pressure on. And their back line's held up really well without some of their names. So across the board, they're a really strong side. And even they went down last week, but their scoring shots and the way they played, they weren't too far off. So they're coming over, I'm sure, with a lot of confidence, and we're building. We've asked for some small wins from our players, and I think we've got that. But we got success against the Bombers. Thought we played pretty well last week, but we still lost by 35 points and conceded 123 points. So we've still got some areas to work on, and personnel's a little bit different. So yeah, we're building in some areas. We think our stoppage work's getting better. Our offence is looking a bit sharper. But our team defence is something that we really got to focus on, especially against this mob.
Those small wins that you are having, can you see the vibe and the energy in the group starting to build a little bit more? Yeah,
I'm really proud of I've said this a few times. For a team that's 17th, there's still a sense of purpose of what we do, and the leaders have driven that really well. We're trying to get better. We understand we've been disappointing, and there's been some circumstances that we haven't been able to control. So we're looking at this last half of the year to build on next year and consolidate some of our style of play. So I think our players have done that pretty well to this point, but there's still 7 weeks to go.
You take much out of what St Kilda did, or do you study that, or is it now more about just what you guys do and forget about Sam Walsh or whatever they
just forget about excuse me. Won't forget about Sam Walsh, but. No, we do the same thing. We look at the opposition, but we probably concentrate a little bit more on what we're doing at the moment and how we're going with some of the things we're building on. But you still look at the opposition and where their vulnerabilities are. I think every club does that, regardless of the position on the ladder. So we'll prepare in a way that we want to win and take away their strengths and play to ours.